December 1944, the Belgian border near Normandy. The world here has ceased to be a place of geography and politics. It has become a simple, brutal equation of thermodynamics. It is 20 degrees below zero. The air is not oxygen. It is crushed glass. A holding pen sits in the middle of a frozen field. There are no barracks. There is only a perimeter of razor wire and the grey, indifferent sky. Inside, 300 men stand huddled together like cattle waiting for the slaughter. They are the remnants of the Klaus Wegner is 19 years old. He is a baker's son from Dresden, but he has forgotten the warmth of an oven. His face is grey with frostbite. His greatcoat is in tatters. He stands next to Friedrich, his childhood friend, whose eyes are beginning to glaze over with the sleep of the dying. Klaus watches the American guards. He hates them. He has been fed a diet of propaganda that paints them as gangsters, as cowboys who shoot prisoners for sport. He believes he is going to die here, not from a bullet, but from the calculated cruelty of neglect. On the other side of the wire stands Private Silas Vance, 22, a mechanic from a small farm in Stark County, Ohio. Silas is not a gangster. He is just a boy who is tired. He paces back and forth to keep his blood from turning to sludge. A truck engine grinds in the distance. It pulls up to the American line. Soldiers begin tossing bundles off the back. They land in the snow with a dull, wet thud. Supplies. Klaus squints through his frozen eyelashes. He expects heavy wool. He expects shelter. Instead, he sees olive-drab fabric that looks impossibly thin. It looks like the rags they use to clean machinery. "Look at that," Klaus whispers, his voice a dry rasp. "They mock us. They throw us their table napkins." He kicks a bundle that lands near his feet. "I will not wrap myself in American garbage." Friedrich is shaking violently now. The cold has bypassed his skin and is freezing his marrow. "Klaus," he stammers, "please, anything. Have some dignity, Friedrich," Klaus hisses. "They want us to look like beggars. We are soldiers." He stands tall, shivering, letting his pride keep him warm. It is a foolish, fatal pride. Night falls, the temperature plummets, the wind begins to scream through the wire, flaying the skin of anyone exposed. Men around them begin to drop. They simply sit down and never get up. Friedrich collapses. He stops shivering. This is the end. The body gives up the fight. Klaus panics. He drops to his knees in the mud. He shakes his friend, but Friedrich is limp. Desperation breaks Klaus. He crawls toward the bundle he kicked away. He grabs the American garbage. He hates himself for touching it. He expects it to be cold, rough canvas. He unfolds it. It is strange. It is not a blanket. It is a sleeping bag liner. It is made of a dense, tightly woven wool he has never felt before. He wraps it around Friedrich. He pulls the edges tight. Then, with no other choice, he crawls under the fabric himself, pressing his body against his friend's. He waits to freeze. But the freeze does not come. The physics of the weave takes over. The material is a technological marvel of the time. It traps their body heat instantly. It creates a microclimate of survival in the middle of the hellscape. Then the smell hits Klaus. He presses his face into the wool. It does not smell of a warehouse. It smells of stale tobacco. It smells of gun oil. It smells of peppermint and sweat. It smells of a man. Klaus freezes. He realizes this is not a surplus supply item. This has been used. Recently, he peels back the edge of the wool and looks through the wire. The guard post is illuminated by a flickering lantern. He looks for the mechanic from Ohio. Silas Vance is there. But he is not wearing his winter gear. He is standing in a standard field jacket. He is hugging his M1 Garand against his chest, stamping his feet violently. He is shaking so hard that Klaus can see the vibration from 50 yards away. The realization hits Klaus like a physical blow. The American didn't throw him a scrap. He stripped the liner out of his own sleeping bag. He gave away his only barrier against the night. Klaus stares at the shivering silhouette of his enemy. The hatred in his heart evaporates, replaced by a confusion that borders on agony. Why? Why would a gangster freeze for a Nazi? Klaus pulls the blanket tighter. He is weeping now. The tears are hot on his frozen cheeks. He is not crying from sadness. He is crying because the warmth he feels is stolen. He is surviving on the borrowed heat of another man's blood. He is cold, Klaus whispers to the unconscious Friedrich. He is taking the cold for us. The night stretches on. The wind howls. Under the olive drab wool, the two German boys stay alive. They are cocooned in the scent of their enemy. Morning comes. The sun rises over a field of white statues. Many men did not wake up. Klaus pushes the blanket off. He folds it with the reverence of a priest handling a holy relic. He runs to the wire. He needs to return it. He needs to say thank you. He needs to apologize for the napkin comment. But the post is empty. A new guard is there. A stranger. He chews gum and waves Klaus back with the barrel of his rifle. Silas is gone. The war ends. Klaus goes home. He rebuilds his life in the ruins of Dresden. He marries. He bakes bread. He grows old. But he never forgets the smell of peppermint and gun oil. For decades he searches. He writes letters to the U.S. Army. He contacts the Red Cross. He hunts for a Silas Vance from Ohio. In 1982, he finally gets a letter back. It is from a woman in Akron, Silas's sister. She tells him the truth. Silas didn't die that night, but the frostbite took his feet. He was evacuated the next morning. He spent the rest of his life in a wheelchair. He died of a heart attack at 45, worn out by pain and phantom itches in toes he no longer had. Klaus sits in his kitchen. He holds the letter. He looks at his own 2 feet, resting on the warm floor. He realizes the true cost of that blanket. It wasn't just wool. It was a man's mobility. It was a man's future. Klaus walks to his closet. He pulls down an old, moth-eaten box. Inside is the liner. He never returned it. He couldn't. He buries his face in the fabric. The smell is gone now, replaced by the dust of 50 years. But the weight remains. He realizes that he has walked the earth for half a century on legs that were bought and paid for by an enemy in the dark. Mercy is not a soft thing. It is not a fairy tale. Mercy is a transaction of pain. Sometimes, for one man to see the sunrise, another must step into the shadow. Klaus Wegner lived a long, full life. But a part of him never left that holding pen. A part of him remained there, shivering in the mud, forever waiting for a guard who would never come back. And in the silence of his old age, he understands the terrible truth. The warmth was never free. It was the most expensive gift he ever received.